My name is Rachel Morgan, and I am 34 years old. For most of my life, it was just my father and me. My mother died when I was 17. After that, Dad became quiet and buried himself in work. I was lonely too, so we became each other's family. I never imagined anyone could change that. Then one Friday evening, Dad called me. "Rachel, I want you to meet someone." Someone. Her name is Megan. I was surprised, but I was also happy for him. Dad was 62 and had spent more than 20 years alone. If he had finally found someone who made him happy, I wanted to support him. That feeling lasted until I met her. When I arrived at Dad's house on Sunday, a young woman walked out of the kitchen. "Hi. You must be Rachel." I stared at her. "I'm Megan." Then Dad appeared behind her, smiling. I looked at Megan again. "How old are you?" Dad frowned. "Rachel." "I'm 29, Megan answered quietly. My stomach dropped. She was younger than me. During lunch, Megan tried to make conversation. She told me about her job and her love of gardening. She was polite, calm, and friendly. Then she mentioned my mother. "Your father told me she was a wonderful woman." I put my fork down. "You knew about my mother?" Dad looked uncomfortable. "Of course I did," Megan said. "He told me about her." I forced a smile, but inside I was angry. My mother had been gone for 17 years. Yet Megan was sitting in her chair, drinking from her cup, and talking about her as if she belonged there. After lunch, Dad followed me outside. "Please don't judge Megan because of her age. She's younger than me." "I know. You really love her?" He looked at me seriously. "Yes, Rachel. I do." Those words hurt. For years, I had believed Dad belonged to the life we had shared with Mom. Now I was afraid he had created a new life where I wasn't needed. I started avoiding his house. Whenever he invited me for dinner, I made excuses. One afternoon, I visited to help with some paperwork. Megan opened the door. "I made coffee." "No, thank you." She smiled anyway. Something about her calmness irritated me. "You married a man much older than you," I said. "You live in his house. Everything seems perfect." Her smile disappeared. "I didn't marry him for his house." "I didn't say you did. You didn't have to." I immediately felt guilty, but I said nothing. Later, I discovered Megan had paid part of the cost of repairing Dad's roof. I confronted him. Why did Megan pay for it? I was short that month. She wanted to help. "You should be careful." Dad looked hurt. "Rachel, she loves me." "How do you know?" "Because she shows me." I didn't answer. Instead, I said, "Mom isn't here to tell me what she thinks." Dad became quiet. "Your mother would want me to be happy." I left. A few days later, I returned and found Megan holding an old photograph of my mother. "Why are you touching that?" "I found it in a box. I was only looking at it." "You're not my mother." The words escaped before I could stop them. Megan's face fell. "I know," she whispered. "I never wanted to be." She placed the photograph down and walked away. That night, I couldn't sleep. For the first time, I wondered if Megan was really my enemy, or if my fear had made her one. 3 days later, my phone rang at 6 in the morning. It was Megan. "Rachel, it's your father." My heart stopped. "What happened?" "He collapsed. He's in the hospital." I drove there immediately. When I arrived, Megan was sitting outside his room. Her hair was messy and her eyes were red. "Where is Dad?" "He's inside. The doctors are treating him." "How long have you been here?" "Since last night." She had stayed beside him the entire night. "A doctor told us Dad had suffered a serious heart problem, but he was stable. When he woke up, he looked at me." "Rachel." I grabbed his hand. "I'm here, Dad." He smiled weakly. Then he looked toward the door. "Megan. She's here." He closed his eyes. "Please don't be angry with her." I looked down. "I won't." During the next few days, I watched Megan care for him. She organized his medicine, spoke with the doctors, brought him clean clothes, and stayed until he fell asleep. One evening, I found her alone in the hallway. I sat beside her. "Why did you marry my father?" She smiled sadly. "Because he made me feel safe. He listened to me. He respected me. He never made me feel too young for him." I looked down. "I thought you married him for his money." "I know. I'm sorry." She looked at me. I was scared too. "Of what?" "That you would never accept me." Tears filled my eyes. "I thought you were taking my father away from me." She gently touched my hand. "I wasn't taking him away. I was trying to make sure he didn't have to be alone." That sentence changed everything. Dad hadn't chosen Megan instead of me. He had simply chosen happiness after years of loneliness. And Megan had never tried to replace my mother. She only wanted to love my father. After a week, Dad came home. His recovery was slow, but something between Megan and me had changed. I started visiting more often. We talked over coffee and slowly became comfortable around each other. One Saturday, Megan found an old box belonging to my mother. Inside was Mom's recipe book. Megan handed it to me. "I've been trying to learn one of her recipes." I looked at her. "Why?" "Your father talks about her cooking all the time." I thought making one of her recipes might make him happy. My eyes filled with tears. For months, I had believed Megan wanted to erase my mother's place. Instead, she had been trying to honor it. "I miss her," I whispered. "I know," Megan said. That evening, we cooked the recipe together. It wasn't perfect, but when Dad tasted it, he smiled. "This tastes like home." I looked at Megan and finally understood. She could never replace my mother. She didn't have to. My mother would always have her place in our family story, and Megan could have her own place without taking that away. Today, I no longer see Megan as the young woman who stole my father's heart. I see her as the woman who helped him find happiness again. She became someone I never expected to love. My mother will always be my mother. My father will always be my father. And Megan became my family too. I learned that love does not always replace what came before. Sometimes, it simply makes room for someone new. And sometimes, the person we reject because of fear becomes the person who helps us heal.